Warning, this show may contain mature language and is not suitable for small children, pets, or blood elves.
You are now listening to the Epic Fail Podcast.
Greetings and welcome to Epic Fail, episode 94. Holy crap, that's a lot, isn't it? I am the host, Draven Dresden, who randomly does accents that make no sense. But anyway, not the point. With me, as always, are the co-conductors of the Fail Train. First up, as usual, ladies first, all that fun stuff. Hey, Scarlett.
Hi.
Guess what?
What? Did you get a mount?
Not yet. I'm working on it.
Guess what?
Almost.
Guess
You
what?
got a
Guess
mount.
what? Guess what? 2 mounts.
We don't care.
But they're ones you guys can get. It's the hatchling mounts again. I finally got all 4. So now I'm at 299. And I have 1, maybe 3 weeks till I get my 300th. It's guarantee. Maximum it'll take us 3 weeks. Because we got 2 Nightbane runs out of the 5 of us, so 3 more to go. And hopefully some dungeon drops will happen, and then I'll have more than 300. That would be cool. Guess what? I tried competitive in Overwatch. Only 1 match. It was very, very, very painful. Our Reinhardt kept charging in before the other team was, before we were there. And then it was just really bad. So I don't know what I'm going to do. If I'm going to try to solo queue it or not. But anyways, Overwatch is painful at the moment. We did some raiding, and so I tried bigwigs for. Have you guys ever tried bigwigs?
Yes.
No.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
No.
I really like it. There's less screen clutter, and it only tells you the stuff that you need to know. I missed the different voice countdown, though. That's a little confusing.
You can still get that in bigwigs.
I figure so, but right now I've only figured out I only have 1 person talking, so it's the same person counting no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure I can change that. But you can also... It is more customizable. It's way more. And you can, I don't know, it's just... It also takes a lot less computer resources, like a third of what DBM does, so... It's, I really like it. It's a little bit of a getting used to, so on progression content, might not be the best thing. But, yeah, I played some Hearthstone. I did not play with some puppies. Yes, I did. Last Saturday I played with some puppies, my friend's dogs, so that was cool. How about you guys?
Yes, Theory. How about you? What have you been up to this week?
Well, as you can hear, it's always playing with puppies at my house. That's normal, whether I want to or not. I've had an okay week. I got off the flu. I don't know if you remember, if you watched last week, I was pretty sick over the weekend and a few days before that. And then thought I was fine for 2 days, and then last night sinuses creeped in again, and I literally only slept about 2 hours during normal sleeping hours last night, and then I slept until 3 o'clock this afternoon after falling asleep in the morning. So yeah, I don't know, I guess I'm good, but I just don't sleep at night anymore. I don't know, it's kind of strange. But the gaming things, you probably saw if you watched pre-show, I'm at the point now where I've got plenty of time to do other things. I'm starting to work on achievement type things on alts and things like that. I did Cap and Monk, thinking about making the Monk a little bit more of a regular play character for myself. They're kind of OP as tanks currently, unless they end up getting squished. That may be something that would be good to be well versed on and geared on. So I'm kind of looking at that. This week, raid teams did really well. Everybody pretty much got all the farm content down, and CTM specifically is working on Croesus Mythic, which hits hard. Yeah, really, really hard. It's not that much different, but there's a lot more ads, and some of the things are not as forgiving, believe it or not, as they are on normal and heroic. But that's kind of where we're at right now with the raiding scene. Played a lot of Overwatch this week, believe it or not. I've been enjoying Overwatch again, which is good. I mean, I'm glad I like the game, so it's kind of fun to have another game that I want to play. I've been tempted. It just came out today, and I know this isn't Blizzard, but Switch came out, and a whole bunch of people were streaming Zelda today. So I'm kind of tempted to take a look at that, but that's like $500 for one game. So I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. So we'll see. But that's pretty much it for my week. What about you, Draven?
Well, in terms of gaming, WoW raids and such, most of my time this week has been in HOTS. And I'm not going to get overly salty. I finally was able to claw my way out of bronze because that's where I got put thanks to freaking trolls. I'm just gonna run into the tower, meh. Make it so it's basically turning it into, instead of 5v5, making it 6v4 because he's helping the other team basically, and that's how I got put into bronze. And bronze players are not my favorite people in the world, but I climbed out and got into silver, a little bit better. And then I got a streak of trolls again. So I'm bronze 1. I'm on my promotion match. I just got to win that match. I can get back out again. Woohoo! Please, let me get back out.
What about
did a little bit of
people?
Overwatch. Yeah, I did a little bit of Overwatch. The season came out Tuesday, so I did a few matches of that. And I'm not touching competitive again for another few weeks. There is something wrong with the matchmaking. I don't know what it is, but it was stomps basically. It wasn't even close. So there's that. But the highlight of my week, what happened earlier today. And actually, I was on my way there when you woke up, Theory. I went to go see Logan today. I'm not going to give any spoilers. What I will say, and I almost never say this about movies, freaking awesome. Go see it. It's worth the money. Take tissues.
So he liked that movie, but he hated the Warcraft movie. I'm still going to be salty
I like
about that.
good movies. What can I say?
Oh. Some salt there.
If we're actually going off topic a bit, I saw a really good movie today, too. But it wasn't Logan. And now I can't remember the name of it. So, epic fail. It's with Will Smith and Cole. I don't know. I'll come back to that. Anyways, continue.
Okay.
Yeah, that, like I said, I'm not going to give any spoilers, but it is definitely worth the money to go see it. I'm glad it's not... I don't think they put it in 3D anywhere, because it doesn't need 3D. It is rated R. So, no kids. And language, a lot of. Violence, a lot of. Graphic violence at that. So, keep that in mind if that kind of stuff bothers you. But... yeah, it was actually really good. I was very tempted to watch it a second time right afterwards, but
You're not the only person I've heard from today through social media that it was really good.
Yeah, so I actually sent a tweet. I seriously doubt he'll see it, and if he does, I even more doubt that he'd respond to Hugh Jackman saying thank you, because that was a story I knew, and to see it on the screen, even knowing what I knew about it, and I can't go into any more detail without spoilers, so sorry.
So, side note.
It was really good.
Side note on that, the trailers for Logan were voiced by Duck Sauce, which I know you guys know that he was for a long time my favorite streamer. And yes, I'm pouring a drink in case it sounds weird, but he did all the trailers. And today on his Facebook, apparently his manager sent him one of the claws that was used during the filming of the movie. It's all framed and everything. I just thought that was really neat.
Whatever happened to Duck Sauce?
He still streams, but he's doing the voice acting thing more, and they moved recently, so he doesn't stream a lot of WoW anymore. He barely plays WoW, but he does a lot of other games. What's that one that's like a survival game?
H1Z1?
Oh boy, yeah, H1Z1, but the new version, the like you against everyone version, Last Stand, whatever it's called.
King of the Hill?
That's it, King of the Hill. He does that one a lot. But
I think that's just a mode within H1Z1, isn't it?
Well, they actually released it as its own game once H1Z1 came out. But yeah, so he does that. He doesn't really do WoW. He did Legion for a little bit, but he stopped streaming it, unfortunately. It was very fun to watch, even though he was mostly PvP when he was playing WoW. But still like the guy. Still watch him every once in a while. But it's kind of neat to see things like that. So, like, for example, we talked about Coltrane and all the amazing things he's been able to do with voice acting and trailers and stuff like that. So it's kind of neat to see people that, you listen to or followed have successes like that.
That is cool.
In theory, you'll be able to say, I knew him before.
Well, not really. I didn't really know him. I knew of him.
Knew of him. Okay. Yeah, but still.
Yeah.
I was a fan from before.
I saw the Duck Sauce shirt. Yeah. But
yeah, congrats to him on that. That's actually really cool.
I thought so.
I would love to have a set of claws.
Well, it's not a set; it's one claw. That was so apparently they took the claws and split them, and it's this frame that's like it's relatively thick that has the one claw in it, and it's got a picture, and then it's like monogrammed on the bottom. It's pretty neat.
Yeah.
But
well, yeah, I knew it was just one claw because that's how you said it. But
right.
Still, I would love a set. That would be amazing. That'd be like whenever I get my stuff working back, you'd see it behind me all the time.
Yeah.
Wolverine was one of my favorite characters for a long time.
If you get a cat, you'll have 4 claws. Actually, more than 4 claws. Lots of claws.
Okay. All right.
Right.
Anything else you guys want to throw in there before we get started tonight?
No, but go see the movie.
Yeah.
We're not sponsored, I swear.
All right. So here we go. We're going to start off with some Blizzard news. This is the Blizzard news you can use. So if you're in our Discord, you may or may not know, but we kind of called something. And when I say we, I'm not including myself on this, but one of our co-hosts found out relatively quickly that there was going to be a big announcement this week, right? Which one of the two of you called this one? I'm trying to remember. And Scarlett.
I think we both said there was an announcement.
I said Ben Bro tweeted that he was in his closet looking for a plaid shirt because their video director required them to have one. Something like that.
It must have been so hard for him to find one.
Well, that's why he took the picture.
Yeah. So
his whole closet was plaid.
Here we go. Journey to Ungoro has been announced. And apparently somebody on Reddit decided that they should have actually had some kind of music or a song. And Ben Brode actually took that to heart and
you
made his own song. Well, let's talk about the backstory. Tell us about the backstory.
Every expansion for Hearthstone has had a musical song. If you remember the Return to Karazhan, you had Medivh singing, and that it was like that 70s porn style thing.
That's a good point.
But anyways, every release has had a song except for this one, so people got a little mad. Not mad, but like fake mad.
A little fake mad?
Yes.
All right. So Ben made a song, and he put it out there just kind of on his own, which is pretty neat. And it got pretty crazy. People had it all over the place, and then people started making remixes of this song. So here's a little bit of one of the remixes that got out there.
Hey there, Doopies, yeah, my name is Ben Brode. I read a thread on Reddit and it said that I should sing an ode because our cinematic didn't have a song, nothing to bump your head to, nothing to sing along. Well, I don't know, I don't think that was wrong, but I went home
So,
anyway and wrote this song.
What do you guys think of this? I find it very humorous.
Best Hearthstone song ever.
I think it's pretty awesome.
I gotta say I was impressed. I mean, even the regular version, not the remix version, was pretty good.
Yep.
But I don't know. Like, do you suppose the PR guys at Blizzard were like, "Yeah, this is cool," or do you suppose they're like, "Oh my God, what is this guy doing?"
I think probably he went for it on his own, and then they were like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." But I think it's really funny.
Yeah,
I think he got permission, provided he showed it to them first, and they okayed it, so he put it out. There's no way it happened any other way, because
I don't see him being able to just put this out on his own and not risk his job. So, I mean,
that being said, in terms of calling it, I will actually say, I think it was Ro who mentioned he would love to see an Ungoro expansion way long time ago.
So I think a few shows ago I mentioned that there was somebody who, at least I know I'm linked it in Discord, whose resume got leaked, who said Hearthstone Ungoro as a credit for a voice actor. So I swear we talked about that.
that sounds familiar. So, do you think that was a situation where it was just someone that, I don't know. I guess what you're saying is that Ungoro was kind of called by the fact they hired somebody and it said Ungoro, right? So there's not that much more to it, but I mean that could be anything. So that's pretty neat. That happened. It's continuing to happen. More remixes are being made, which is hysterical.
Well, that's what happens when you put a song on YouTube.
Yes.
People will take it. I'm going to remix it to how I like it.
So speaking of things that may or may not be okay to be out in the world, apparently there is a guy in the parliament for is it Sweden?
Sweden. Yep.
And he now streams, which is interesting. I can't read it. Something Richard Rickdag Richards, something like that.
Yeah.
And that's pretty neat. I mean, we've seen a lot of like celebrities and things like that get into streaming, but this is the first time I've seen a politician get into it.
I don't think he streams all the time. This was a political stream, so he was streaming, but he wasn't talking about the game. He was talking political things and getting young people involved in politics. And it was mostly Swedish. I watched it because I like Swedish. It was mostly Swedish, but he did answer a few English questions. What? My best friends when I was growing up were Swedish. Okay,
you
awesome.
like Swedish. I'm sorry that you like Swedish.
Yes,
that
I
line.
like Swedish. Swedish meatballs. No, just I like the Swedish accent. And so he was really nice. He's really good at Hearthstone. Although I watched him do a couple misplays, but I think that's because he was talking. But he was. I don't know what he was talking about in Swedish, but the English questions he answered was like on stuff about like relationship with England now that Brexit happened, et cetera, et cetera. So I thought it was a really good way, and he had like a few thousand viewers. It wasn't a little bit; it was a lot of viewers. It was really cool.
Well, when you said that that it may have been like a one-time thing. When you look at that picture that I had up, let me pull it back up again. It doesn't look like it's a brand new stream, and you can't really see the numbers on here. But look, he's got 2,664 views already.
That's true. Okay, that's true. Maybe he does stream more than that, but this was the first time it was actually like... I recognize that name. Speaking of that, I recognize that name in some of the... I swear it's been in... that guy who does the funny Hearthstone mess-up clips. So maybe he streams just not on camera and nobody knew it was him till now.
Well, it's possible. I mean, people do stuff on their free time, I guess. But I mean, I think it's very cool, and the whole thing talk about gaming, but talking about politics. I mean, a lot of people do that, right? Like they'll game and then they'll talk about what's going on in real life or whatever they feel like talking about, and that's part of the reason why people get into it. I mean, like we were talking about Duck Sauce earlier. His streams, yes, he was playing the game. Yes, a lot of what he was talking about was about the game, but it wasn't the game that really truly made me want to watch him. It was the other things he was talking about that I really enjoyed. So that kind of makes sense that, he would talk about politics. It's what he really knows, best. So, I don't know. If it's a one-time thing, that's a shame. I hope it continues. So, very cool. Let's see. Next up on the list is Overwatch Season 4 for competitive play has started. And, Draven, have you done any competitive matches yet?
2.
And
they were stomps.
Stomps?
Yeah. They not even close.
So,
not even close.
Were you the one being stomped, or were you the one doing the stomping?
Every game.
Ouch.
Every game my team got stomped. I won't even take credit for being the worst player on my team. Which actually says something.
Damn.
Okay.
But it was bad to the point where I am not going to go back into competitive, like I said, for a couple of weeks until some more people get out of the competitive, because it just seemed like the matchmaking was literally just throwing everyone together, and one team would get really good people and one team wouldn't. So I was just like, yeah, I don't mind losing if it's close or a good game. These were neither of those. So I'm not gonna touch competitive for a while. I will stick to my arcade and some quick match here and there. But
yeah, I haven't played competitive in 2 or 3 seasons. I played the first season, wasn't really happy with it. I think I played a little bit the second season, but not very much. I like quick match, and quick match is fun. That's what I've been playing this week quite a bit. How about you, Scarlett?
I like quick match, and then when I get really, really salty, I go into against AI, and then that's like, I don't care if I get my butt kicked by AI because it's funny, because they're silly. They'll just like walk into your traps and stuff. But I've been playing Junkrat. He is freaking fun when you do it right. I've had some really funny moments. I had actually in the competitive match that was like really bad. I had a moment where I killed the other Junkrat and he killed me at the same time, but it just happened in a funny way, and both our bodies like flew up in the air, and then both of us were like lol in match chat because it was funny. But I noticed something, totally other match, but you can see Sombra when she's about to appear. Did you guys know that? So I was going to ult the tire on the point, and a Sombra was coming out to kill me, and I saw it, and she was like, "How did you see me?" I was like, "I don't know, I just saw like a flash of light." So you can actually see Sombra when she's about to pop out, which is kind of cool. Like a little cue. Kind of like when Reaper's about to appear and you see the little swirly on the ground. It's kind of like that. And if you didn't know about that, you guys should know. Just if you always hear when Reaper's about to appear, you hear his little laugh, and then there's a little swirly on the ground, and then he pops out of it. So you can like be ready to kill him.
Interesting. Didn't know that.
Yep.
And for those that care, Bastion currently is overpowered to the point
Fuck
where...
Bastion.
All right, edit number 1.
Seriously. And that's why I go back into AI, because I can kill him in AI.
So yeah, he's a little bit overpowered at the moment. And by a little, I mean, holy crap, I can't believe this made it live.
Right?
But
So
he can now repair while moving. He has enough health and armor that he can survive Tracer alts. He can survive, I believe, a Pharaoh alt, taking everything. He has to be healing through that one. But he can survive through these things. There's tons of things he can survive. Some stuff he can't. But that's one-on-one. Now, 2v1 and 2 people alt, you're dead.
He now
Right.
can survive Junkrat's tire.
I say working
Yeah,
as
he's
intended. I
insane.
think this is good. I'm fine with this. No problems there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just wait till
he's-
you're... Okay.
He's getting
just wait.
nerfed.
Just wait. No, even with the nerfs on the PTR right now, okay, you have a Bastion, you have a Reinhardt, and you have an Orisa. It's pretty hard to get through that. And that's going to be the new game for a while.
Well,
I don't like Bastion.
like Draven said, it's probably going to be nerfed soon. He came out, was it today, I think, and said that he thinks he's a little OP at the moment. But I don't know. We'll see. I like Bastion. There's certain maps that I will play him on. Pretty much any of the defense maps that make sense, I use Bastion. I enjoy it.
Attack Bastion is now insane.
Yeah.
I still don't like. I get it. He's OP, but from a strategy
You don't
point
see
of
jump.
view,
You don't go into your turret mode. You literally stay as your robot moving around. That's what's OP right now.
yeah. Well, I don't know.
I still say he can go take a flying leap off cliff.
I was waiting for you to say the
repetitively.
other thing. Apparently, you're not going to say the
No,
other thing.
I will spare Draven the edit.
Second edit. He doesn't have to have the second edit. All right.
I will spare it.
So
That being said, solo, he's not nearly as good as he could be. He needs the team to work with him. If the team doesn't work with him, he's not OP at all. Team coordinates around the Bastion. That's where he's OP. So
and I heard about the Mercy boost and the other boost that you get from Anna, right? I think she gives you a boost.
Yeah.
Making him even more OP. But here, I got him right there because, Bastion and I are buddies. So, what
You
else is
can go
going
to
on? So, in addition to season 4, you guys kind of already talked about it a little bit, but there was a new hero added this week to at least the PTR and soon to live. Orisa. Tell us about Orisa.
Well, short version, they went into the backstory for the announcement. Doomfist attacked the airport in Nabani, and these robots, the OR-15s, were there to defend, and he kicked the crap out of all of them, which now confirms, A, Doomfist is either a bad guy or there's something going on with the government that we don't know about yet. So whatever. But Elfie, whatever her name is,
Effie.
the little girl that we covered,
Yeah, it's Effie.
Effie. It's Effie. She took one of them and basically gave it an upgrade. And it went from OR-15 to... They didn't show it, but I assume that she originally named it OR-15A, simply because
Yeah, the
OR-15A,
yeah. Or
if
something.
you take out the numbers and replace them with letters, it looks like Orisa, and that's what the new name is. So I'm guessing that's how they came to that, and they thought they were being clever, and I caught that right away.
Yeah.
But she is a tank, and I don't know a whole lot about her because I haven't touched the PTR. So
She is a tank who is pretty awesome. Her shield can be placed anywhere. It only has 900 health, so it's like half of what Reinhardt is. But you can put it anywhere, and the cooldown starts when you place it. So you can place it 10 seconds before the match starts, or 20 seconds, whatever, and have a second one ready by the time that one's going down. So her gun takes a good 30 seconds, no, I think it's 18 seconds of steady fire to actually expend, so you don't have to recharge hardly at all. And her alternate fire is like a mini graviton surge. It's pretty cool. And her ult, as long as you hide it right, is a mercy boost for everybody in that area.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's going to be pretty OP to start, but just like Blizzard has a tendency to kind of do with a lot of their newer characters, they almost always make them a little OP at first just to try to get people to play it and enjoy it, and then they kind of bring it back in line later. So it would make a lot of sense if it was a little bit OP to begin with, at least. But yeah, so I definitely am with Raven on that this confirms Doomfist. I don't know for sure if it confirms that he's a bad guy, but it does confirm that he's coming, which I think is pretty awesome. And I'm almost as excited about that as I am about having another new character besides Doomfist. I'm just ready for some Doomfist. But also, HOTS had an announcement this week for a new character as well. So let's look at this one a little bit. And we'll save it there. If you haven't seen that, go ahead and check it out. There's about another minute left in that. But like a couple people said, it's adorable, but it's a little weird. What do you guys think?
It is a little weird. Go back to that screen real quick and scoot ahead about 3-4 seconds.
3-4 seconds. Okay, so let me pull it up here. So
okay, you were just there.
So here?
A little bit further.
It's there?
A little bit further. Be a little bit further.
You know what? Let's just play it here. Okay.
And right there. So here we see the enemy team. I'm counting.
It's a chibi Ragnaros.
Yeah, it's Little Rag. With Butcher, that's 2. Asmodan, 3. Dahaka, 4. You get 5 people to a team. Then there's Cho'Gall, which would be 5 and 6.
Do you think that they're hinting at a new gameplay?
No, I think they wanted to put the biggest and / scariest looking things in there, and they used Little Rag just to, be cute.
Okay. I thought you were trying to say that they're hinting at some kind of new gameplay mechanic.
No, I'm thinking they just wanted the biggest, baddest looking ones.
Yeah, well,
but
it definitely seems cool. But I'm not a huge StarCraft guy. I've never really been. I'm not a great RTS person to begin with. So I don't know. It just seems kind of weird. But like almost everybody that has talked about it seems to really like the idea. Like, for example, Bartholomew tonight on CTR's Drinking and Swearing was talking about how he thought it was crazy and he wanted to be the pro. He wants to be the little probie. And like, that just sounds weird. You probably shouldn't say it that way. But, at
least he didn't say he wanted to be probed.
It was pretty close to that. So
yeah, I know. I was there.
Yes.
But the thing about this is, offensively, no capabilities whatsoever.
That's like
Defense, though, from what I've been hearing from some people who have had access to playing it, and it's not available in PTR yet, so take that as you will. There is no one better for holding an area. This includes the Steadfast. Gazlo is good at holding an area. Ragnaros is terrific at holding an area because he can Molten Core into the building and basically become a raid boss. There's nothing in the game better at holding an area as long as the Probius is its name. Has time to set up first.
Yeah, see, I'm kind of with Alessandra on this. She says it's weird that he's not a person. He's a faceless minion that dies by the thousands every day. It almost seems like to me it should have been a character with the probes. Like you are a character, but one of your abilities or many of your abilities involve using the probes. I don't know, but maybe they're just trying to kind of expand and make it different. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't see that unless this character comes out severely OP. I don't see it ever getting playing competitive, and then even when it is severely OP, because it's bound to be when it comes out, because that's what MOBAs do.
Yeah,
it's only going to get played on like 2, maybe 3 maps, because that's the ones you need to hold spots. So it's really hard to say. It'll be fun to try. I'm going to try it, but I'll end up paying gold for it because I have more than enough gold to buy characters for a while.
Yeah. Well, there was also another thing that they announced for HOTS this week, which was some changes to the UI. Now, being that...
Hallelujah.
Apparently this is something cool. I didn't really notice any problems with the UI when I was playing it for my Warcraft mount.
Okay, so for competitive play, which is the pros and stuff like that, but you get the spectator mode, which is what you see on streams.
Okay.
That is way better than what we have as players. What they're basically doing is they're improving the spectator mode a bit, and they're putting everything in the player mode also. So normally, like in the bottom left corner here, you can see at the very top of the picture, hero pictures and health bars and all that. We don't see that kind of stuff in game.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know, like, if I play a healer, I know what my team's health bars are because it's right above their head. But if they're not right near me, I don't know where their health is.
Gotcha.
This I can actually see. So we know, oh, go focus this guy, that kind of thing.
I can see that being very beneficial.
It's definitely an improvement.
So where will the UI go for the, to show how far your progress is in the map?
The mini map, you mean?
No, the big map. Like on the top right now on HOTS, you have if you die, your little health bar moves across or whatever.
Oh,
so is that still going to be there?
Yeah, that's going to be up in your little frame up there. It's going to have a vertical bar that builds up, and once it builds up all the way to the top, that's when you res.
But
so
also
it's still there,
the
just going to be visually different.
Gotcha.
So apparently these changes are needed.
UI is the biggest thing, and especially with the observers, that needs to be fixed, to be honest. And they're finally doing it, and everyone, including the casters and stuff like that, are like, finally. Yeah. And I'm like, yes, this looks really good, so I can't wait.
All right. Sounds good. When is this coming? When will we be able to see these in game?
They just announced it today, so I would assume it's going to be on the PTR Tuesday.
Very cool. Okay.
But they didn't give a date.
Well, that is our last non-WoW thing. So let's hit a bumper and transition into some WoW. So first thing this week was a blue note from the forums that talked about something they're doing in 7.2. Apparently, there's a couple of different weak auras and add-ons that were modifying the appearance of friendly nameplates, which was making it easier to know when certain people were afflicted with certain debuffs, things like that, how close people were to other people, which Blizzard wasn't happy with. So they're breaking it. And it's going to change the way that they work, not necessarily in every situation, but if you read the actual post there, they're preventing this from basically negating boss mechanics inside raids, specifically in dungeons.
Did you see why?
Yes. There were several members of CTM which for the past week were dabbling with one of the weak auras that was making it so that you knew, like for example on Gul'dan, people that had bonds, you could tell who had them and whether or not they were broken or not just from their nameplate, which definitely makes, that functionality makes that particular mechanic easy. So I can see why they're wanting to change that. However, I'm kind of torn because it feels like to me if a mechanic is so difficult to be able to see, then maybe they should rework the mechanic. But I don't know.
So, do you have a problem seeing the bonds on Gul'dan?
Well, I don't, but I'm a tank, and my bonds I do by myself. I don't need anyone else to soak them, so I don't have issues with it. I have not done the fight as a DPS or healer. I've only tanked it. So,
but DBM tells you who it's on.
Yeah, I think it's more of because of the way that it can kind of tell the state of the debuff. Like, you can see visually if that person's already cleared their bonds or not from across the room, kind of a situation, and whether or not there's people close enough. It's a situation where I can understand the need or the desire to have that type of add-on / weak aura, but at the same time, I don't really understand why they broke it. But I guess for me, the mechanics need to be difficult, but they also kind of need to be obvious. And if they're not obvious enough, somebody's going to come up with some kind of add-on or some kind of weak aura to make it more obvious. And that's specifically what these were doing. So now they'll just have to try to find another way to do it.
Well, I think part of it was to do with range.
Yes.
Like, you have to be so far spread out. And I think that's why they broke it more than anything else.
That definitely is part of it, yes.
Yeah, because they made a big deal about the one add-on, you stand here, you stand here, you stand here, kind of negating the one mechanic that would, wipe the raid.
Yep.
And because this is doing kind of the same thing without being as specific,
yeah.
I think that's why they're breaking it more than anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that you're correct that if they hadn't been able to basically see how many people were in range with one person and show that on their nameplate, this probably wouldn't have happened yet. But it's pretty obvious where you can look in the nameplate screen because they have enough people stacked with them and know that, hey, I don't need to go over there. It completely negates it. So I get it. It's just one of these areas where I feel like they continue to make the mechanics harder, which is good because we love new different stuff, but there's always going to be somebody trying to make the mechanic easier because of how hard the mechanics have become. There is no more freaking butcher fights. You know what I mean? There is no more I forget the guy in Naxxramas that you just stood there and beat on him until he was dead. The days of those fights are gone. The mechanics now are what makes the fights new and different. And there's going to be people who try to make them easier. That's the whole, thing with raiding, is that if you can figure out a way to make it easier, you're going to get the fight down faster. But
so Blizzard is literally in a catch-22 here. We want new, fun, exciting, difficult mechanics, but every time they do it, we're looking for a way to make them easier.
Yep.
I don't know of any other game that's been out long enough that they're running into this issue.
Yeah.
And I mean, short of breaking the add-ons that they're allowing, because they allow add-ons freely. They just, they break some of them every now and then when they trivialize it. There's not a lot can be done. I mean, you can turn that part of it off and let everything else go, but that was the entire point of the add-on. So,
Yep.
I get where you're coming from. I get where Blizzard's coming from, and I'm kind of, I'm probably not going to see that anyway, so doesn't bother me either way.
Yeah, and to be honest, I never downloaded the Weak Aura / add-on either, because I didn't need it. I was a tank. I handled my own, like Scarlett asked in the beginning, and I responded. I never really needed it, so I never did it. And like I said, it's a situation where I can understand every side of it, but it's just going to be a different add-on or a different Weak Aura or some other add-on that allows you to see things easier in the future. So they're going to constantly have to do this. It's never going to change. Cool. I guess we're good there. So there's a couple things coming up. We've got Dark Moon Fair starting on the 5th.
Which I need to remember to do this time, because I've been skipping it.
Get your professions done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I spent a little bit of gold this last week, and I'm now up to 750 on my blacksmithing. And the only reason I'm doing it is not because I want 800 to get 800, because I could really care less about professions of this expansion. I should really work on my jewel crafting a little bit too. But I got a drop from Tichondrius for the mount that you can't learn or craft or anything until you're 800. So I need to get to 800. So I need to go to the Dark Moon Fair, because...
Which mount is that?
It's the Green Core Hound.
Oh, okay, yeah. I've seen several of those around. I do want one of those eventually.
Yep.
So you know who I saw, in this little tangent here, but I saw someone on the hard-to-get Gul'dan mount today.
What's it look like?
It looks like, Warlock's giant, abysmal pet.
Yeah.
A bigger version of that's broken more apart with a saddle on its, hump of its shoulder. It's
awesome.
Very badass, and there's two different colors, and one of them is just random off Gul'dan, and the other one is the mythic version. And I believe what I was looking at was the mythic version. It was red.
Wait, Gul'dan, not mythic, can drop a mount?
Yes, there's two. There's one that is just super low drop rate from normal or higher versions of Gul'dan. Might even be LFR, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But it's like 2.02% or something like that. And then there's the one that drops 1 from Mythic Kill of Gul'dan.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, which the person that was on it was an Easy, who I do think killed Mythic Gul'dan. I think so. So I think it was the Mythic one. But it's a crazy, awesome looking mount. So eventually, someday, I'd like to have that one too.
Yeah, I'll be farming that in about 2 expansions.
Yeah, exactly. And by then, hopefully, it'll still be at least 0.02% drop rate for the other one, so that we can get that one too. But also, on our little slide here, Mists of Pandaria Time Walking starts on the 7th, right? Isn't this new? Didn't they just add Mists of Pandaria Time Walking?
Yep. Time Walking. Yes, that is the first one.
I will be doing a lot of these when they come out, because I'm still short some badges. I'm just going to call them badges.
Well, on here, they've got the new mount, the Yrel, Daughter of Jade, which is another one of the skinny, long dragon mounts, which is pretty cool. And then, of course, the portable Yak Wash. I may have to have the portable Yak Wash. That's pretty cool stuff. But, so, what is this other one here, Scarlett? The puppies from the crate of kidnapped puppies spawn something, but they've now transformed into the adopted puppy crate? What is that?
So there was a toy that you could... Oh, no, sorry, it was a trinket. I believe it was a trinket in... Remember how in Panda time, in that transition, you had those like PvP dailies, but they weren't PvP.
Yeah.
I think there was like a trinket from those token things that you turned in that could spawn a crate of puppies on use, and it spawned all these little puppies. So I think they've turned that into a toy.
Well, very cool. But yeah, there's definitely some stuff for that one that's worth grinding a little bit. Satchel of vegetables, a shrouded time warp coin, of course. But
The mount.
The mount is the big one. I've got a couple thousand, I think, so I might be almost ready for that mount. This is another one that I'll get eventually, but I'm not super excited about. I'm sure
The
Scarlett
mounts
will
are-
get it immediately.
Are they 5,000 or
Yeah,
3,000?
It's 5,000 for this one specifically. I think they're all 5,000.
I think so.
I'm going to have to go through my characters and see which of my tank tunes, which I might even use my paladin since I have been leveling up my tank's weapon. Since it's time walking, whoop-de-doo.
Yeah.
And see which has the most coins, just to go through it faster.
Which, if you have that add-on saved instances, it's one of the things that you can look at really easily, by the way. Quick plug for an add-on.
I have it. You have no idea what a mess it looked like through Valentine's Day event.
It's like off the screen, like
It
you
took
can't
up my
read it all.
entire
Yeah.
screen.
Yeah.
That was insane. It was
Funny.
such tiny letters, and I was like, okay, which one have I done?
Yeah.
If I took a break, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, and how'd that go? Did you get that mount? Yeah, never mind. We'll move on. So, talking about cool achievements that Draven doesn't get, something kind of neat happened. A little salt for you, Something happened which is very neat, which I don't remember which website we got this from, but I'll try to figure it out here in a second. A group of all deaf players have now beaten Mythic Emerald Nightmare. It's pretty amazing. I'm super impressed by that.
PC Gamer was the website.
PC Gamer, awesome. So this is where we got this from. If you haven't had a chance, check that out. But think about that. We use Discord, Mumble, TeamSpeak, Vent, whatever, just to have fun. It is almost mandatory from a heroic raid group, much less mythic raid group, to be able to communicate on the fly in a very fast fashion. And these guys and gals couldn't, and they were still able to achieve this. It's pretty amazing. But
That is.
what do you guys think? I mean, I'm blown away by that. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I saw that in my my Twitter feed actually. I was like, what? I was like, I didn't even know there was a guild of all deaf players. I knew that there were deaf players out there playing the game. That's not surprising. I'm even aware of I don't know if he's world first, but he was definitely a server first blind player.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about that player in one of our previous episodes that basically had a wingman that, or wing person, whatever, that helped them play the game. Which
He did his rotation and all that. It was just
Right.
positioning. He had someone else on follow.
you kind of had a
That was all it
spotter,
was.
exactly. So
Yeah.
it, it's things like that. I don't know why, man, but it makes me feel like the game is so small in comparison with the world. But look at what these people are capable of doing. It's pretty awesome.
I actually knew about this guild before. They got interviewed on, I don't remember. It was an online website that I go to. I honestly don't remember, but I had heard about them back last in Draenor. They were raiding in Draenor, but I don't think they had done any mythics. I think they were just normal / maybe heroic, but that's pretty cool. And Alessander just talked about Quadilius, which that's a cute, ironic name because I'm sure that's on purpose. That's really cool. That is really, really cool. That people can adapt and play that way, but also that the game allows them to be able to, I'm sure, probably use software and things like that to play it as well. So I really like that.
Yeah. Well, we have, believe it or not, reached the end of our show notes. Do you guys have any topics that you want to discuss?
Go watch Logan.
Go watch Logan. Okay. All right. Well, if you guys don't have anything big that you want to discuss, I guess we can roll through some other things here. I'm going to pull up this next screen here. Just kind of remind you guys, if you're a fan of the show or you just enjoy watching us suck, we do have a Patreon that you can help support the show. This does not go to actually make any money. This money is all put right back into the show, and it helps us to continue to bring you the show. It pays for things like the servers, and it pays for the website, for example, and maybe eventually it can help Draven actually have a video cam again. Crossing our fingers on that one. But yeah, obviously Craig C is pretty awesome, and if you want to have your name on this list too, you can visit our Patreon. Links right below on our Twitch page and in the notes. If you happen to be on the YouTubes, you can check it out there too. You can literally sign up for as little as $1 a month or as much as you would really like. And there's some pretty cool rewards on there as well. If you would rather not do that, we of course have a donate button as well, which you can donate one time if you would like. But there is the ability to help support the show if that's something that you want to do. There's my little shindig out of the way. I should probably record that. I don't know. I guess I can't because we're going to fill that thing up with names, hopefully. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. So, go ahead.
StarCraft tournament?
StarCraft tournament.
There is a StarCraft tournament. Give me a second. I'm bringing up the details. Alessander, what's the details? Because it seems to have gotten lost in my chat.
Hold on a minute, guys. I'm going to bring up the details. Hey, Alessander. Yeah, there's a StarCraft tournament going on. There's a Heroes tournament going on. It's the Western Clash. I didn't cover that simply because it's still going, and that's why I was holding off on these because I wanted to wait for the results.
It's a tournament in Katowice, Poland, and apparently it's a pretty incredible tournament. They've been doing rounds all week. Who's playing in it?
People from all over, if I remember. StarCraft is always going to be dominated by Koreans, but beyond that, I couldn't tell you any names. I didn't get a chance to watch it. Yep, pretty much. I'm realistic. It's an esport. The Koreans are going to dominate. End of story.
And tomorrow is the finals.
Where's the finals? Yeah.
According to
so yeah, check that out over. I think it's on StarCraft 2 over on Twitch. I think that's the official. Because I know Heroes is on Heroes of the Storm.
All right, Draven, you have to say the names because this will be funny. Say the names.
Nercho, Beyond, Dark, Innovation, and I have no idea how to say that last one.
Come on, you can do it.
No.
Aw, it's
the only way I can think to
Ho.
say it would sound really horrible.
Well, I said it for you. It's Gummy Ho. All right. Oh, so yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of big names over there. For the StarCraft one, I'm personally rooting for Beyond.
$100,000 is pretty good. Pretty good take.
I should start playing StarCraft. What?
I suck at StarCraft. All right, so let's let you guys know how to contact us. We'll get that knocked out of the way, and then we'll come back with some shout-outs. So at Epic Fail Podcast, we do love it when you contact us. So here's the ways that you can do that. We are at www.epicfailpodcast.com. On Facebook, you can find us at /podcastepicfail. Twitter is at podcastepicfail. You can follow Draven at Draven Dresden on Twitter. You can follow Scarlet at Scarlet_CTR. And you can follow me, Theory, at Gank Theory, also on Twitter. Don't forget, you can find our podcasts on iTunes and Stitcher Radio. We look forward to hearing from you. Okay. Scarlett, do you have any last words? Or shout-outs?
Kitty.
Let's do shout-outs instead of last words.
Yes, I actually have a shout out for a girl in the guild. She's in CTR. Her name is, I'm gonna murder it. It's Ainsa, something like that. AIYNSSA. Just a druid in the guild. She seems really cool. And somehow we got talking about Canadian food, and there's something called donaires. I don't think you guys will know what they are. They're very specific to a region. Well, they're specific to the East Coast or the West Coast, but not where I live. So you can't get them here. They're a take on kebabs and shawarmas, if you guys know what those are. But they're totally different. Anyways, I was talking about how I miss them. And her dad has a YouTube channel, which is adorable. And he makes recipes for donaires, and it's really, really cool. So shout out to her for showing me that. I was going to give you guys the YouTube link, and then I figured that nobody would watch it because you guys don't know what donaires are, which you're missing out on. So shout out to her. That was cool. And I'm going to try the recipes, probably.
So I know what a kebab is, and the only reason I'm even aware of what shawarma is because of the movie Avengers and the post-credit scene.
Do they eat shawarma in the post-credits?
Yeah, they go and get shawarma, yeah.
Shawarma is freaking awesome.
So I'm looking up this donaire, because you know it's food and I like food. And these don't look like kebabs. These look like pita sandwiches.
Yeah, they are. So basically it's ground beef. It can be ground lamb, but it's cooked in a special way and it's seasoned with special spices. No, I'm not talking about fries with cheese curds and gravy. That's poutine. So it's this meat in a pita, and then you put like tomatoes and cheese and stuff in there. But what makes donaires special is it's like a sweet garlic milk sauce, which sounds gross, but it is the best thing in the world. Yeah, that's mostly what it looks like. So there's a place here, one place in my city that makes them. They don't make them very well, which I'm sad to say. It made me sad when I ate it. I was like, this is like having, day-old pizza when you want, like, fresh pizza. It's just not the same. Anyways, his recipes, he made, like, donaire pot pie. It looked amazing. So, yeah. Shout out to person in the guild.
Okay. Draven, do you have any shout-outs that you would like to make?
I am going to give my shout-outs to Jules, Kalani, and Jayonce, who are letting me group up with them this Monday night, which I've already told the team about. I'm not going to be in Raid. We're going to be doing Team League, and if everything goes well, then I might not be able to make Mondays on Raid night anymore.
So I don't know whether or not to root for that or against that now.
Yeah,
it's kind of it's a dilemma.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah.
It was the only night that everyone would be possibly available, and I was the only one that had an issue with Monday, so they were going with Monday. And I spent nearly an entire day deciding whether or not it would be something, and I was like, I really want to do Team League because I want to see where my actual level is, not where I've been placed. And plus, having been in a group with Jules and Kalani and Jayonce before, I know what level to expect. The other two people, or the other one person, I guess, I don't really know, so I have no idea what to expect, but I would assume pretty much the same. So,
well, since you get MVP like every match, I think you'll probably do okay.
It's AI. It's not difficult for someone like me. I know how much I can push it.
I've watched you on at least 2 different occasions streaming HOTS with people who are trying to get their mount and get MVP like every game. So good luck.
Here's the thing. I know which characters are good at getting MVP, whether you're good at them or not. Zul Jin, if you know how far you can push, great at getting MVP because he will do a ton of damage. And as long as you don't, kill yourself, you're pretty much guaranteed it because you're going to be doing more damage than everybody else combined.
Okay. All right.
But Theory, do you have shoutouts?
I do have a couple, actually. I'd like to give a shout out first to the Converted and Pasha, who was on it last week, I believe it was, may have been the week before. She was on there. She did a great job. She was talking about females in gaming and some of the issues and things like that that come up when people find out that their amazing tank happens to be a female, and all of the crap that she has to put up with when that kind of happens. Really, really good content from the Converted. So if you haven't checked that one out, you should definitely do so. Even if you're not in CTR, it's worth a listen. To the rest of the CTM raid team, also especially to Dumpster Dan, who apparently is moving on to try to get a little further in his Mythic push content. So we're going to miss him for sure. But that's pretty much it for me this week. And that brings us back to the three of us.
Clarification. So the YouTube channel, the guy is Steve45CA. And I put a link in chat for one of his videos. There you go.
That's the food guy?
Yep. That's the food guy.
All right. Draven, Scarlet, are we ready for some last words?
Donaires.
Go see Logan.
Okay. That'll work.
Okay, bye. Hello, Mother.
You know, the world could always use more heroes.